Alright, welcome back to Axis and Allies 1942 Online. In this video, I'll be showcasing my solo team game against Flat Tops. I'll be playing as the Axis for Axis 1 against Flying Wombat's allies. Alright, without further ado, let's get on with the game. Alright. So yes, Steiner or Wombat as the allies and myself as the Axis. Russia round 1 here with 4 infantry, 2 tanks. Bog standard. 9-12 attack. Losing 2 infantry in West Russia, so that's above average there. And failed Ukraine, which is pretty bad. Pretty bad result for Russia there. That's, yeah, in my opinion, that's catastrophic. Most cases. Yes, it allows a very, very easy German-Ukraine stack, so I could directly threat the Caucasus and West Russia. It literally, allies lose West Russia straight away in most cases. I'll definitely take that. Alright, so with that result, I will be doing a hybrid buy. Mainly so I can have an easy France trade back if UK commits 2 ground instead of 1 to take France. And yeah, the tanks so I can get some, not necessarily to kill Russia, but ideally I want to get to a Caucasus and Karelia stack and then play eco from there. Yep. I want to be aggressive, so I do want to get in Russia's face here. I could play complete standard. You know, 7 infantry, 2 artillery and a bomber. And just play a standard game. I could do that. But I want to take advantage and stack right in front of Russia here. The Axis should be aggressive. Yep. No chances in C-Zone 7. Kill that destroyer and then I'll send reinforcements to Ukraine. Yeah, this will... I need to send at least 2 fighters to Ukraine, so that's going to be a pretty easy UK fleet drop. I could choose to take Iceland here. So unlikely allies can hold West Russia. Alright, this will do. It's just C-Zone 7 and 17. I was thinking I do like to do an air build sometimes if I can stack Ukraine. But I don't know how good of a player Wombat is, so I'm just going to play an aggressive tank build against him instead. Good luck to the Germans. Okay, very, very responsive allies there. Okay, not a total wipeout, I'll take that. Alright, so what was that? 3 6s? Yeah. Do I get a 4th? Get a 4 though. Crazy dice already. I will continue to stack forward. Eight, 1, 2. There you go. Yeah, quite an unfortunate result in Season 7. UK can just send their lone destroyer with planes and deal with the problem. And a very easy naval drop. I will commit the AA gun and infantry. Do I want to stack Northwestern? What would that look like? Yeah, because I still need to send 2 planes. Don't really like that. I think I'll put you guys here. This guy here. 1, 2, and then cancel that. And this fighter will go here. I think I'll take this. I do want it on. Could leave the AA gun out. Try it this way. Let's do this instead. Let's do this. Nope. We're getting the controls here. One, two. He's got no plane here as well, so I might be able to get away with this. If I do that and then send the AA gun here. AA gun fighter. Apply more pressure to Ukraine. Yes, Russia could trade it, but I still have 2 infantry, 9 tanks, and of course all my planes for a retaliation. Well, as defeat these 5 tanks as well, he would have to try conquer Bellow. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's a little. I mean, it's not advisable, but I suppose only two lights with the infantry. Maybe they go for a conquer here. That's never a good idea, because I just stack the Caucasus. I could just ignore Russia and Karelia and just stack the Caucasus, or even West Russia. Yeah. I mean, maybe UK comes into season 17, yeah. Maybe. I do expect the UK to send one plane to Szechuan here. Let's go with this. This is a bit unorthodox, the AA gun and only a fighter. The only thing that can attack it is this lone tank. So unless he luck rolls with that tank, I don't believe he's gonna kill the AA gun and fighter. This does require UK clearing, fellow. Transport is dead, so I'm just gonna deploy everything into Berlin. If he doesn't kill it, then I just use Bulgaria, Romania, or Libya if it's still alive. I think I'm fine if UK wants to commit to wipe out Libya, because it increases my odds on J3, of course. Right. Alright, that is the end of Germany round 1, and I'm back with Japan round 1. Alright, welcome back to Japan 1. Fleet drop from the UK into Season 8. Transport and carrier. And free infantry for India. Took France with a tank. Killed the transport in 5. Killed the cruiser in 7, losing a destroyer. I'll take that. And then lost the cruiser in 61. Okay. Interesting. I'm just gonna see if it's... I might try and dead zone 45 this time. Either that or I just go for max pressure on Kazakh with the tank and air force. Anyway, I'm thinking of free infantry and free transports. This time I'm not going to directly do an optimized build for India timing. I'm just going to do more tamed version here. The objective is not to go for India. I think every time I've threatened it, I've never actually gotten it in this club team season. So I'm going to back off the tank and get an extra infantry. There's no fighter here. That should be fine. Yep, 3 and 3. I will bring the tank down though. No, I'm not sure I care actually about dead zoning that. Bomber 2. Yeah, I think that'll do, and just stack my air force in Kwangtung. All of it. Can leave a battleship destroyer in 60. There's no problem there. Alright, let's get on with it. Pretty simple turn for Japan because I'm not doing Szechuan or Pearl. I normally like to do Pearl if I've bought a German bomber round 1, or I plan to round 2. But I don't think I will be buying a Well, I might, though. Normally around one move, though. Yeah, I normally like to pair it with the German G1 bomber, not the G2. Yeah, I just want all my planes in the center of the board, I think. Do I still do Pearl, though? I can do Pearl still. I don't really care, to be honest. If he tries and med shucks, I should be able to wipe out with Japan anyway in the future. Yeah. Good luck to the Japanese. Okay, that's fine. Very painful when the double hit back shows up. Oh, we took Burma. That's always very nice. Oh, beautiful. I don't expect a retaliation from Russia there. Okay, let off the hook. Okay. Can my dice wake up? Wake up. There you are. That could have been far worse. I'll definitely take that. As you can see here, the UK did land a fighter and a bomber here, so that shows that the Allies are intending to hold West Russia this turn. We'll see how that goes for them. That does tell me that either Russia's going to take a risk on Ukraine or they will try and trade Karelia. But if they conquer, I just obliterate them with 14 tanks and 2 infantry. I don't know how they're going to handle that. So I'm actually threatening the Caucasus stack still, so I could actually expect an artillery-only purchase from Russia next turn. We'll see. This is another reason why I wanted to skip Pearl, because I want all my air force available so I can threaten that G2 Cork stack, because they're so insistent on holding West Russia. But yeah, another downside is the fact that UK sent everything into Persia, so the 1-2 from the Allies is there. I could force the dicey situation. The UK has to sacrifice a lot. But it does depend on the Russia 2 buy, whether I go for this or not. I think I've done it before, like I think best odds Germany, the Axis can get just above a 50%. But it's a very dicey battle, the Allies are forced to engage that, most likely. The G2 Cork stack is just so devastating, if Axis can achieve it. It's why normally Russia's in this situation to a G1 Ukraine stack, they strafe and then stack Caucasus, or just stack Caucasus, because it's just so brutal to lose the center of the board that fast. So we'll see what Allies do here. But yeah, I'm very happy with that round for Japan. That's probably one of the best Japans I've had in a while, if I'm being honest. Yeah, that feels good. That definitely feels good. Only one loss in Yunnan and Conway. That was pretty much perfect. Almost a perfect round for Japan. I'll definitely take that. US might see zone 45, but if they do that, it might expose Alaska, and I'll just do a expansion play with Japan instead. Play long game straight away. We will see. Yeah, fleet here and here, good stuff. Yeah, that's a legitimate threat as well. Allies retreating. It looks like the US will have to leave an infantry behind. Even then, they still have to defend it, because I can always just air raid it with Japan if the target's good enough. Killing the US units, in my opinion, especially in the early game, the US units in China are some of the most valuable that the Allies have early game, and the Allies should do everything they can to protect them. So if I can take them out, that'd be fantastic for Axis. It takes the US out of the center of the board for the most part. So US can't assist trades for Russia and help stack Kazakh, for example, or even move down to India, help India out. These units are just, I think they're underrated. I really do. If Japan can take them out, that's I think that's a pretty big win for the Axis. All right. I think that's a pretty strong start for the Axis. So that is the end of Japan round 1, and I'll be back for Germany round 2. Right, welcome back to Germany 2 here. 2 infantry, 1 aircraft carrier, and 3 transports for the US. A little greedy, that buy. But fair enough, I did not buy myself a bomber round 1. They're going to try and trade down Germany relatively quickly here. Took Morocco for 3. Very interesting board here from the Allies. 5 artilleries and 2 infantry for Russia. Force all into Moscow. Killed the transport in 16. And then took Belarusia for 1-to-1 trade. Okay, so it's been a while since I've seen the setup from Allies. They're sticking their hold on West Russia. I could hit this, and I have a 50-50. But it's quite a heavily IPC negative battle for me to take. So I'm probably just going to ignore that. And I'm just going to stack Caucasus. This is kind of what I did in my season 3 against the Jam. I just ignored what the Allies were doing with their silly little West Russia stack, and just stacked Caucasus. Had Allies attack into me instead. Yeah, I mean the G2, the Axis round 2 stack of Caucasus is really deadly. So I do think this is a forced move for the Allies to hit. There is a 1-2, but it's the calculation's roughly a 50-50, slight advantage Allies. It does depend on what the UK does entirely. If the UK hits the Caucasus themselves, and if they lose their fighters, and they don't send their remaining fighters, if they have any left, to Moscow, then Japan can actually air raid Moscow before landing in the Caucasus. Japan can go 1, 2, 3, 4 with all of my planes. So I'm actually very happy I ignored Pearl. And yeah, I'm just going to stack the Caucasus with Axis, I think. And go for India, because if UK hits, if UK suicides into the Caucasus, the 1-2, India is is just so unlikely for the Allies to hold. It really is. So in this scenario, I suppose I get to hold the Caucasus, or I get India, or I get both. But it's unlikely that I'm going to fail India if UK takes Caucasus. Even with this C-Zone 45 move from the US, I think there's just way too many Japanese if I go full guns blazing at it. They didn't even trade Burma. They failed Burma? Oh wait, it's not even been the UK's turn yet. I don't know what I'm talking about. I do apologise. But if UK all's in this, then they'll have to chuck like 2 guys at this and pray that they conquer. Yes, it's a very interesting board. I actually think I could just stack Egypt at the same time. Because what I'm going to do this turn is give the Allies way too many targets to deal with everything. But yeah, I'm actually like that. I think I will stack Egypt. I will stack into the dead zone, because if he commits any planes to this, that weakens the UK attack on Caucasus. I will be sacrificing the north, most likely, I think. We will see. It's a very interesting situation. I'm just going to buy 14 ground and be done with that, I think. Yeah, 14 ground will do. Alright, 2 infantry. 2, 4. I want all of my planes, at least in Poland. I don't think I can stack Karelia. Because I think Russia would then just attack Karelia to take out the German Air Force, which I don't like. I mean, I say that, but then they just lose Moscow, right? I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can stack Karelia, otherwise I'm gonna send my tanks this way instead. I don't think it's possible because the UK also have an attack on Karelia as well. I think, I'm not saying Russia would necessarily conquer, but they would try strafe Karelia. Well, anyway, that doesn't matter. I'm just gonna leave all my planes in Poland, I think. Yeah. I'm actually, so I've just, yeah, I'm going to stack Egypt, stack Caucasus, of course. I'm going to push these 5 guys forward. This is why I want my planes in range. So that if they hit this and they get diced, then I have 5 extra infantry that I could use to attack Moscow directly. I think the wrong move, I don't know actually. I don't know. This is a tough position for Allies to pick the right move. I do think they should hit Caucasus here no matter what. I think it's just far too deadly to allow Germany the G2 Cork stack. But an alternative is that they just trade and ruin Germany. But I don't think that matters because I've got the Caucasus stack. So even if they hard trade, kill the 5 guys in Karelia, I'm actually tempted to leave a tank here as well, just to split my tanks up. I need to take this though, pretty important. I will overcommit and then send this infantry to Baltic as well, so I have the ability to actually trade back Karelia. I think. Yeah, this is going to be a very unorthodox German setup. So I want 2 tanks. 2 of these tanks in Ukraine. Then the last final tank will go to Karelia, and then this will be the soft stack for Belarus. So there's just too many targets for the Allies to really deal with everything. There's loads of combats. There's so many chances that they just get completely diced, right? This is a mandatory take. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. This fighter can then re-land in Poland. These fighters will go here. Then 1, 2. I think it's just way too much. So we're gonna have yeah, 8 infantry, 1 AA gun, 9 tanks against the UK 6 infantry, 1 tank, and then 3 fighters, 1 bomber. They get obliterated. And then Japan will try and air raid Moscow and land in the Caucasus. Good luck to the Germans. Also, if UK commits any air to Egypt, then it's just not going to be included in the attack on Caucasus. Oh, amazing. Excellent. Great, I could just shove the AA gun in there and be a complete nuisance. Okay, it's fine. That is fine. I will move my battleship here to just protect the underbelly here from just the transport sack. Infantry. I'm kind of tempted just to leave here to stop any blitz action from this this tank. Yeah, this is like so annoying. France is so annoying to deal with. 1 tank and then 2 tanks. It's just too much. I think there's just way too many targets to take out. Of course, if allies have a super successful round, of course, I think Germany's crippled and it might be game over, but we'll see what happens there. I am hoping I've stretched them out enough. Of course, I do need to protect Poland, my fighters here. How am I going to do that? Actually, no, you know what? No. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. I want max pressure on Russia here. Yep, I'll leave it as that. Alright, good stuff. This is out of my depth completely, so we'll see what happens if this works or not. In theory, there's either way too many targets for Russia, or Russia just hits Caucasus and has to take a very risky battle against me. So yeah, I have the sack AA gun. Another thing is, I suppose Germany is making a lot of money. So that softens the blow that obviously I'm going to be taking in the future, depending on allied choices. But yeah, Japan's job is to go for an air raid here. Decide what I will do if UK lands a single plane there, single fighter. If they survive the attack of Caucasus, if UK manages to retreat, they will definitely go there. Now, I'm not really fussed about the US attack. It's only fighter, infantry, and bomber. Alright, that's the end of Germany round 2, and I'll be back with Japan round 2. Alright, welcome back to Japan 2. 6 infantry, 2 fighters for the UK. Fighter to Sea Zone 8 and United Kingdom with 3 infantry, and then 3 infantry to India. Took France, losing an infantry, then attacked Egypt, losing 2 infantry. I'll definitely take that. UK sent fighters to Moscow. So me air raiding that is pretty much off the table now. I don't think it's worth sacrificing the Japanese planes anymore. And UK did not hit the Caucasus, and they're actually going to opt to try and hold India. Which makes sense. They did put Sidon 45 here with 2 extra fighters, so... yeah, interesting. So, yeah, it's a very interesting board, because nothing's... it's just... normally there's a little bit more action, but... we'll see if Russia hits Caucasus here. I don't actually know what they're going to do. If they don't hit this, I imagine they'd hit Karelia and Archangel instead. There's 4 targets. I think that's just way too much for Russia to deal with. But maybe they do. Maybe they trade them all. I don't know. But yeah, with this setup, I either get Caucasus or India. There's still a chance I get India. Since this is not blocked, I could actually send some German tanks down to hit India, and then Japan can continue. Because I am going to plan to continue with the pressure on India here. With 2 infantry, 1 artillery, and 2 bombers for a purchase. I've done a rough calc. It's roughly a 50-50 for India. It depends on what the Allies actually sent fully to defend it. They do have a transport here, and they have this destroyer that can block 37 to stop me picking up these 2 guys on the attack. So +2 for Allies, and then -2 for Japan here. So it's roughly a 50-50. It does require Allies sending every available plane in range. We'll see what they do. The Allies do here. But yeah, this will be the buy. Definitely. Right, so I'm going to commit 2 guys here, 1 here, because if Russia wants to commit men backwards, that's fine, I think. I will actually continue to air raid this American unit, and I intend to sacrifice my bomber. I need all my fighters to help defend Caucasus. I was looking at I don't know, I'll look at it again, but I was trying to figure out if I can send this fleet here and sacrifice it to stop the extra 2 UK ground. But I don't know if I can do that and still defend 36 and 61 without prying one of my planes back. If I have a look at Caucasus, with all 6 Japanese fighters, it's a 70%. If I remove a single fighter, it goes to a 52%, but the attacker profit goes to 10 IPC for Russia. Problem is, if Russia goes in, they kill the German. I think I do have a lot of. If Russia goes in, I can just stack West Russia, but I lose all my Japanese planes, and then India is off the table, most likely. India's safe, but it might jeopardize Moscow defense. I don't know. This is a really certainly quite a few tough decisions I have to make here. I could offer it, and the average result is I have a fighter left, a Japanese plane. But is it worth risking that to deny an extra UK transport load back to India? I don't know. I mean, even if I block, UK can just blitz the tank and then transport these two guys into Persia instead and go for a retake. There's a lot going on here, because if I leave this empty and Russia actually wipes this out, Germany cannot wipe out Persia. I don't know. I mean, 61? Maybe it's fine leaving 61 with just carrier destroyer. Because the only thing that can hit 61 is these two American fighters. If America commits their two fighters to 61 and they're not defending India, America will kill one transport, which will take out a transport load from 61 and then block with 37. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Let's get combat underway. There's just so much the Allies can do to try and hinder my efforts here. Alright, good luck to the Japanese. Outstanding dice from Japan so far. This is really what I need. And the hit back. Outstanding. Does America get another hit back and kill my bomber? No. Okay. Failed Szechuan. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Russia can technically trade this now. Okay, so yeah, bring these guys. So I want to try this. UK has a carrier, bomber, and technically two fighters if they buy a carrier for 35, but that's less defense for India. So I'm not sure about that, to be honest. And the idea is to leave a battleship there and do I want to leave that? Maybe I just leave the destroyer here, or just the carrier here and leave a lone destroyer in 61. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's excellent. The fact that this failed means that this bomber can actually hit 61 now. Outstanding dice, truly. Alright, this will be the final configuration for Japan here. I'm only going to send 5 fighters and 1 bomber because the bomber did survive. And offer Russia a 36% on Caucasus. Of course, I'm going to stack Burma here. And yes, I'm going to leave a carrier fighter in 61, so it gives the US the option to go after 61, which is the wrong move in my opinion. These fighters should go to defend. Or the US could go after the fleet in 36. But the Allies' chances on that are pretty bad. I have a 63 to hold against a 1-2. And that's to attack my transports, and then a weird KGF pivot, but they lose India most likely, and that scenario, I think. And I'm also going to send just a small fleet into 35 to stop UK directly transporting infantry tank or just the infantry artillery back to India for more defense. The odds on India there's just too many variables to really get an accurate calculation, because the Allies can block 37, they can wipe out 61, they can wipe out 35 and still get the extra 2 transports in. Yeah, there's just too many variables. The most likely variable is, well, the most likely outcome is the destroyer block for 37, and then UK YOLOs their bomber on the 61 to take out the extra transport with the 2 extra dudes to get to India. There's just way too many. The game could go many different ways. Of course, Russia could just YOLO into Caucasus and wipe out the Japanese planes, and then there's 0 odds on India, pretty much. So yeah, I'm gonna lock this in. This failure for Szechuan has just thrown a wrench in the works here. Completely, it's just ridiculous failing that attack. But I suppose I didn't overcommit my planes one time, and I get punished for it. So yeah, but it's roughly a 50-50 for India. It's completely up to the Allies how they're going to deal with this situation. They do have a lot of planes and many options to hinder both Germany and Japan's attempt to take India, because if that's not blocked, either if Persia's not blocked by either Russia sacking a plane or the US sacking their bomber off the block, Germany, if Russia has not actually attacked Caucasus, can actually send tanks down to soften it, and then Japan can go in for the kill. But likely, if in that scenario, like, there's so many different ways this could go. If Russia ignores Caucasus, they're going to trade Karelia back. So even if Allies lose India, I lose Karelia, and the game's still even. So yeah. Enough yapping, let's log this in. Right, we'll see where this goes. I'm out of my depth here completely, so... But I think there's logic behind these unit placements. Germany is on bombers before fighters here. So the bomber will die before the tanks. And the great thing about this variation of the J3 timing is that you have bonus infantry actually provides you with almost free full transports. So if you actually can't go for India, it's not actually that bad. Don't get kneecapped so hard by the Ruined Shuck, which is pretty nice for sure. Alright, that is the end of Japan round 2, and I'll be back with Germany round 3. Alright, welcome back to Germany 3. Eight infantry, 1 transport, 1 fighter for the US, all on the eastern coast, of course. Took Norway for free and took Algeria. No units lost. Sent some units to C-Zone 2 here to go trade, or even try stack Karelia, the Allies here, which might be possible. Might have to roll the dice on that battle if they stack it. Russia had a very, very interesting turn. But as you can see, well, before I move on, the US did block 37 and Persia. So yeah, I would say this is the most optimal play the Allies could do, blocking that and blocking this. So India is like 0 chances, so I will keep the Caucasus instead. In this exchange, I get Caucasus. At what cost? That's up to that is definitely up for debate. I think the Allies fared a little better, I think, despite what Russia sacrificed. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, but I doubt India's gonna have anywhere near odds now. Russia brought 8 infantry and all into Moscow, of course. Attacked Belo, Archangel, and Karelia. Lost 2 infantry and a fighter for Belo. They sacked the fighter to protect their tanks in Karelia. They took Karelia, losing 4 infantry, 1 artillery, killing 4 infantry, 1 AA gun, 1 tank, which I think I will definitely take that result. And then Russia wiped out Archangel, killing 5, losing 2, which is definitely good for them. Stacked Moscow. It's roughly a 50-50, but it's like a minus 40 IBC attacker profit. Even if Germany takes it, I can expect UK to air raid the Japanese planes before they can stack Moscow, or before Japan air raids any of these targets to try and hold. So taking Moscow is beyond impossible unless I get a top 10% result, which is not going to happen. Yeah. I think Allies have done very well here to diffuse all the pressure I've done to the Axis. I think I'm just going to have to play slow and passive now and try and hold with Germany. And play long game now. I think, yeah, they've done very well to diffuse what I've tried to achieve. It does depend. There could still be a chance. I have odds on India. But so that's still 6 Allied fighters defending it, so it's so unlikely that I'm going to be able to pull that off. Alright, well, with Germany, 13 infantry, 2 artilleries. That will be the buy. The only problem with this setup for me is the fact that his tanks and his artilleries are completely untouchable to me. I cannot take away his heavy material, so they're going to continue and stay in the game and cause me problems, no doubt, in the future. I could send a lone infantry and 5 planes, but then I'm foregoing France trade. And, of course, the West Russia trade if I want to commit a plane to that. The plan will be to trade France, stack Belo and stack Baltic states so I can reclaim, hopefully, Karelia. I'll stack Caucasus and offer the Allies a 50-50. Well, offer Russia in particular a 50-50. I've only got 6 units moving here. Maybe 2 tanks as well. So 18 infantry, 3 tanks. Fighter. I need at least 12 dudes. Two tanks. And 2 fighters of any nation. Okay, well, I'm going to blitz this. I'm actually going to commit a tank to this bomber. Inf artillery, I think a fighter here. And then I'm going to send all my planes into Baltic, I think. Because even if UK tries prying it, I have Japanese planes to support me, just in case Russia gets any ideas of being aggressive with their tanks against my air force. UK only has 3 infantry, but they do have 6 fighters. Yeah, that's not very good at all. So, 1 infantry. How do I want to do this? I do want at least one order for that. Let's see. Can I change this up? I want these 2. I'm gonna have to leave 4 Japanese planes in range, I think. So if I commit 2 guys here, no, deploy 4. I'm gonna have the German fighter sit there most likely. 2 German tanks, and I will need at least 2 Japanese fighters. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going to move this tank here with 6 guys and all my planes. The rest of the planes, I should say. And then Berlin should be safe because I have Japanese planes to spare. The Baltic states and Germany should be safe, in theory. I was tempted to take Szechuan to block the UK YOLO against this carrier and fighter, but I don't think UK is going to go for it, and I don't care if they sack a bomber for it. I don't remember committing 6. I don't mind committing 5. Five units. Because it's a mandatory take. Let's have a look. So on average, okay, we'll definitely see about that. I take this with 3 dudes left. Right. So I'll commit 4 and 4. I'm actually going to do it this way. Yeah, 2 from Italy and 2 from Berlin. Yeah. Alright, so I have 9 guys here. So it's actually pretty safe. This should be pretty safe as well. So I should have, in theory, I should get Karelia here. Alright, let's launch it. Yeah, this is going to be a very unorthodox game. So this will be exciting. Alright, I'll take that. I actually got the average. I'm not used to getting the average at all. Okay, nice. Okay, I panicked because I thought, did I forget to attack in Africa? But I have no units left, so... This is one of the rare cases where UK had the freedom to actually commit units to Africa and still defend it, defend against J3. So well played to the allies here. I think it was because of CM45. Normally I do try and dead zone it, but the last time I did that, it turned out to be a bluff in the end. But maybe I should continue that because people don't know that I'm actually going to hit or not still. Oh, I do actually have an AA gun. So yeah, I'm just going to gain control of the north, and then I hopefully should have enough units to withstand, to keep myself here for a period of time, and then build up to that France stack eventually. I think UK might try and greed, take both, but hopefully if they do that, they fail. Yeah, they might be able to hold it because UK might just unload into Karelia. I think there's a small possibility because of the US here. But if allies are gonna all in try and hold Karelia, I will send every man possible to breach it. I might actually be tempted to stack West Russia and Baltic states at the same time. So any allied units here that try and cross will most likely die in a strafe. Yeah, we'll see what the allies do here. I'm actually going to deploy my artillery backwards, not forward, because I'm only going to hold this position. I'm not looking to take Moscow anytime soon with Germany. I think Russia did a pretty good job at knackering Germany and preserving their own strength because I literally could not touch either target. I'm just going to play for eco now with the Axis. I don't know, it depends. I might go for India, but I think the Allies can get a pretty solid, at least 70% to hold. And I might just switch up and do a fast expansion game instead. Buy double transport. And yeah, go for income with Japan as well. Right, that is the end of Germany round 3, and I'll be back with Japan round 3. Alright, welcome back to Japan 3 here. 4 infantry, a destroyer fighter, and AA gun for the UK. Fighter AA gun to India with a destroyer into Sea Zone 35. 4 infantry to United Kingdom. Took France, killing 3, losing 1. Okay, it's a very good exchange for UK there. Attacked Persia and failed, killing a tank, losing a tank. I'll definitely take that. It's pretty nice actually. Allows me to blitz down to kill that the artillery if I want. Or blitz down and sacrifice some German tanks to hit India if I want to do that as well. US literally can't intervene this time. It's a pretty big win. Gives me options. Okay. So interesting board. Now I could go for India here. It is a 51% me to win. The battle is like minus 20 IPC for the attacker though. I'm not really a fan of. But I'm actually gonna double down on India I don't normally do that against higher level players. But if I just buy 3 more bombers, I'm going to have an 85% on India, and I will definitely take that. Before the Allies can send any more reinforcements in planes there. 100%, I will definitely take that. 85.4%, 42 attacker profit, which is an incredible amount of profit that I'm gonna make against the Allies here. That is J4 timing, which I'm happy. I'm happy to go for that. Stacking Caucasus pretty much leaves India essentially just a sitting duck waiting to die. So I'm going to take the initiative, and I think I will actually double down and tunnel vision on India. It's not a move I recommend. Getting fixated on India, but I think in this scenario with G2 stacking Caucasus that aggressively, because the Allies allowed me to do that, I think going for India is the play here, 100%. I think that is the weakness of what that is a weakness of what the Allies have gone for with this Russian setup. Is insisting on the West Russia hold and not giving it up, and stacking Caucasus, because it allows me to do this. I think. Of course, I could go for the 85 and fail. I could lose that 14%. Where if I lose the 14%, the game's over, most likely. WOMBAT is a pretty good player, and if I fail such a overwhelmingly in my favor battle like that, I don't know if I can recover, if I'm being honest. Yeah. So I'm going to double down, get 3 more bombers. I'm going to have 32 attackers against 26 defenders. That's a pretty significant difference in unit count. Yeah, definitely. But you can see this is very well played from the Allies here, diffusing as much Japanese pressure as possible with the destroyer block of 37. Because I can't move into 37 if there's combat going to be initiated. I can't go in there, pick these guys up and move. It doesn't work. I'd have to clear it first, and then on non-combat I can have access to these units. And then also buying a destroyer for 35, so I get no bombards. Now this is an 85% J4 without my bombards, so it really is not, in my opinion, this is not worth the Allies trying to hold. They should give up. Save their planes, give up. They will lose a bunch of UK infantry, but is it worth losing? What I've calculated is 11 Allied fighters. And that's an all-in Allies trying to hold. This is all-in. UK buys another destroyer and 2 UK fighters. Sends this fighter and the Russian one. It's just not there. It just isn't. If Allies try go for a Burma strafe, that's not looking very good for them either, because I have a 90% to hold. I'm going to stack 36. That doesn't look very good for the Allies to hit either. I have an 83 to hold. I'm going to stack 61. Doesn't look very good for the Allies either. So they should give up India here and save their planes. I'll have to analyze whether what Russia did in the early game was good or not, because this is uncharted territory for me. But in theory, I should have India, and it looks like this play has gotten me Caucasus and India. The only advantage this play has given the Allies is the fact that I have a very weak northern area with Germany. That gives a chance for the Allies to flood in through the north. But I think if I take India anyway and still have a strong center of the board with the Axis, with Africa exposed, I think it's just Axis favored. Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with the turn. Yeah, triple bomber. Xinjiang and Ivenki. The alternative, what I was thinking, was buying a East Indies IC and taking India slowly, but I have an 85% as I've calculated with triple bomber buys, so I might as well just be aggressive here and take it. DEI IC, and then 2 transports in 36 and 2 transports here. J4 buy 2 more transports, so I have 2 transports picking up from here, 2 transports moving down from 62 to 36, and then they would alternate. Eventually I'd get India through just sheer numbers of Japanese units, but I think aggression's just better. How am I going to tackle this though? I need to kill both. A single hit back is catastrophic to my odds on India. Well, the idea is that I'm going to use 2 transports to pick up these 3 guys, and just stack them. Yeah, I mean, the safer play would just be to stack 37. But that gives the UK the extra sub in the attack. Which I think means I have to send an extra plane down. And then Russia gets decent odds on this. I'm going to pause and calculate everything out again. So I've just gone over a few things here. I'm going to have to risk one of my bombers against the destroyer for getting a hit back. There's no other way I can really do this. I just have to pray that the destroyer misses. And then here, this destroyer has to die. Otherwise, UK's odds on my fleet do increase, not by a drastic amount, but stops a YOLO attack on my fleet. So even if they hit, I don't actually know, they can't even hit my fleet, really. If they hit my fleet, then I just get India anyway. My fleet should be safe, but it's still, I need to kill it, so UK's forced to buy another blocker. If they want to commit, I think UK will actually buy a blocker anyway to stop me crossing over to get access to Africa faster. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just as long as I get the hit in the first round, I minimize the amount of potential damage done to me. Yeah, so I can't afford for my dice to mess around here. Yep. Luck. My bombers hitting that US destroyer will land in Burma. Oh, beautiful. Finally. Finally. It's been a little while since I've had a flawless plan. A flawless plan. It's been a while. Bless it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, that is a huge weight lifted off of the Japanese there. I would think India is almost guaranteed here. Pretty bad shucking from Japan, but in theory, I get India here. So it is worth the... Not sure who that is. Yeah, in theory, I get India here. This transport, I'll leave it here. So I have the choice to shuck more men into Africa if the opportunity is there for me. We'll come down to Australia, because I still have a transport for these 2 infantry. Yep, that works out. So yeah, 61 has to defend itself against a submarine. So that destroyer must go here. So destroyer, carrier, fighter against the lone US sub and UK bomber. That's pretty good to me. If allies want a 1-2 punch 36, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I'm just calculating just in case. I have a 82% to hold. US on average do no damage because I have 2 battleships sitting in here. So yeah, it really isn't a option. I have 2 battleships, cruiser, carrier, fighter. Yep. Carrier keep first, and then swap it on Germany's turn. 82%, yep. Caucasus, 10 infantry, 2 tanks, 10 fighters, and an AA gun. Stacking my AA gun. Assuming US clear West Russia by air raiding it. So if they air raid West Russia, they're giving up India for sure, certain. Then these tanks can get in range. So 18, 3 and 1. I have a 73 to hold. Good stuff. Burma. 13, 4, 1 and 1. With 3 bombers, so it's even more unlikely now. 97. So that's overstacked. So I could technically no, I have to make sure it's omega stacked, I think. Yeah, because just in case, if I don't leave that fighter there, the Allies, the UK has a 10% to wipe it out. If they wipe out this, US fighters would stay in India, and then I'm just so unlikely to take India, I think. Anyway, I don't want them strafing me at all. So I'm just gonna hard stack it as much as I can. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. Hey, this is exciting. This is definitely not your standard board. Round 3 for the Axis. You don't often get to stack Caucasus round 2 as the Axis. I think that is a misplay from the Allies. We'll definitely see how the game ends, but I would think it's a misplay. Despite the Russian results up north, it will definitely see. On Germany's turn, I'm going to have to consider giving up a hard Karelia stack and just stacking everything I can in Caucasus to ensure that Persia is not only dead zoned, but Caucasus is stacked enough to withstand the entire Russian might. After I've strafed Persia if UK retreat. 3 bombers. All in on India. Maximum aggression here. I should try this more often. I don't often get to take or pressure India this hard against more experienced players. I normally give it up because it's just better to try play the long game and not fall for the India trap. But India's not trapped here. It's fairly obvious that I should get it. 85% overwhelming profit to be had here potentially. The Japanese. All right, 100 attack. That's 100 attack power for Japan. Even more than Germany, but Germany did suffer a pretty brutal beating against Russia. But I think position-wise, the Axis are pretty good here. Right, that's the end of Japan round 3, and I'll be back with Germany round 4. Right, welcome back to Germany 4 here. 6 infantry, 1 artillery, and a transport for the US, all on the eastern coast, with an industry in Norway. Took Finland, Northwestern, and Libya for free. Yeah, sent a stack into Finland. Really mounting up that pressure on Karelia here. Fled their fighters from India, which means it looks like I have India now with Japan. UK has a choice to either flee into Persia or just hold the stack. I don't know, is there a VC attempt from me? I don't think there is. I have to think about that. 7 infantry for Russia. Took Kazakh for free. Failed West Russia, losing an infantry artillery. Killing an infantry. I'll definitely take that. And took Ivanki, losing an infantry. Killing 1. And stacked Moscow. Okay, I'm thinking with Germany, 12 infantry, 2 artilleries. Think I've got to stack Caucasus still. Because I could give it up. The reason I want to stack it is to allow Germany to either strafe or conquer Persia if UK retreat. I don't know what is the best move there though. I'm hoping UK stays put, so Japan can just wipe them out. I think I have to stack Karelia here, because I don't know if I'm ever going to get it in the future. Because of the amount of allied planes in range of Karelia, they could get an insane amount of allied planes stack. I just don't think I can get it back, which would actually give the allies an in. So actually, yeah, I think I am forced to stack Karelia here. I don't think there's a VC attempt from me. Like, oh, I have no idea. I don't think there is. It's gonna be so tight. I would get India and I'd send a transport straight to Y. I'd have to escort it with fleet to dead zone 56. Oh, is there a VC attempt? This is so tight. I might. Is it worth holding Caucasus and just go for a VC play? It wouldn't be. I don't even know if I can hold France. I'll have to look at that before finalizing everything. Well, my initial thoughts is whole Caucasus to get a strafe opportunity on Persia. To force UK to either stay put or move into a strafe. But I don't even know if Germany's strafe is going to be very good considering what I'm using to stack there. Because I need to split I need to split 2 stacks here to hold Caucasus. And then have enough to try strafe Persia, but then also hold Karelia against the 1-2-3 punch. Against the 1-2-3 punch is a 50-50, but it's overwhelmingly negative for the Allies to take. So I don't think they're taking that. But I need enough there anyway to potentially hold for next round as well, because I don't know if I can send any reinforcements to Baltic this turn. India is lost, so could give up Baltic. Try stack France this turn. Stack Karelia is pretty easy to stack. If I give up Caucasus, I can stack Karelia relatively easily. It would I wouldn't be able to win this round. Obviously I can't win VC this round. The VC attempt would be a round 6 VC win, because I cannot get to Hawaii this turn. All right. Many pauses, but I do apologize for that. The lot that has to go into this round for Germany. The safer play actually is to stack Karelia and dead zone France, which would mean I'd have to give up Caucasus. I don't think there's any way I can hold that still, because I'm not deploying here. So I'd be 10 and then no German tanks. It's impossible for me to hold that. I would need, not even the Japanese planes can hold that. I've just got 2 good odds on that. So I would have to abandon Caucasus if I want to stack this safely and dead zone France at the same time. But also give myself an opportunity to stack France on my turn and still hold Karelia. The problem with this play is that UK would 100% retreat instead of holding, which ideally I would like to crush these units. There's a risk of a Persia plug where the Allies just sit in Persia. I'm not sure if it can be achieved this early on. Maybe there is a chance. Because there's so many US fighters already in the center of the board. So maybe Japan might get stopped in India. So late game, this isn't good, I don't think, this play. But if I'm gonna try VC win this, it doesn't matter if Allies stack Persia. As long as I hold India and go for Hawaii and hold Karelia and France, whilst of course protecting Italy, I just win VC. The problem is Russia might get comfortable and stack West Russia again, which I don't think I can. I don't know if I can stop. I would have to really send everything forward again, which might hinder my odds on a France stack. I don't know, but as long as I keep all my Japanese planes in range, it's possible, I think. So, the plan is 12 infantry, 2 artilleries, dead zone France, stack Karelia. Japan has a overwhelming 99.7% chance to take India without a plane sack. 50 IPC profit, so they will be moving 100%. They cannot allow me to get such a profitable battle. So I've taken India definitely in this game, but the UK will be able to retreat because I'm not stacking Caucasus. If I try stack Caucasus and Karelia, I can't really dead zone France. It's just not possible. But what this does allow me to do is that these 10, or roughly these 10 men here, will make it to Karelia round 6, which would be the timing I would try and go for a VC win. That'd be my best opportunity, I think. Even then, I don't know. There might be too many allies. They're going for a full fin shuck, so Karelia's going to be pressured instantly. There's no weird med shuck, so... Alright, so the plan is to take France and try and take Northwestern. I'll take Archangel because it's free. I could wipe out Transjordan. It might be worth Japan going for a fast Africa play, because that might bleed some American units going into Karelia. Yeah. Though I mean UK can just send their stuff over as well. Yeah, tough position for Axis here. A favourable one, so it's just I've got to try and play the best move not to mess up my advantage. Do I want to trade this? They do kind of just get slaughtered though. Japan can do it for... Japan's got enough planes in range to do it. I'm gonna have to leave like 2 infantry here because the UK has 4 fighters, 1 bomber. I don't expect a YOLO from UK on my planes. I don't know, maybe US air raids this? That would be kind of annoying. To protect the Russian unit. Where's this plane going? Ideally Ukraine, right? I might try trade it. See if I get lucky and take the territory, or at least kill the unit. I'd be happy with just killing the unit. It's fine. I will send an artillery piece there. Alright, yeah, I think this is good luck to Germany. Do the Fatherland proud. With that display, of course. That's outstanding dice. I'm not gonna fail France, am I? Are you kidding me? Oh, what is that? All that planning for these dice. Okay. Sometimes it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how thorough you are with your planning. The dice could just give you the middle finger. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? God. What a shit round. Holy crap. Wow, I mean, what? I mean, the impact this has had is unbelievable. The VC is nowhere near happening now. What the hell did I just witness? Like, this is, bearing in mind, in this club team event, there are some of the world's best players are participating. Some of the top players, very, very experienced players, are playing this. If dice are just gonna play up like this, no one stands a chance, right? No one does. Okay. Wow, fucking believable, dude. Oh my lord. Bless this. Holy cow. You... Alright, I am back. I've taken a 10-minute break to sort this out because of these that horrific round for Germany. Failed free trades. I'm not bummed up about Kazakh. I normally expect an infantry fighter against an infantry to fail anyway. But failing France is so devastating. That's 2 whole infantry Germany doesn't have anymore. And Northwestern, I mean, I have odds to take it on average anyway. So, yeah, but of course that failed as well. I'm going to have to offer allies a 50-50 on Karelia. Is that an overwhelming minus 54 attacker profit, so they won't be hitting that. They don't need to. They can just play passively and be just fine because Germany's just had such a crap round. So, but I have to bring a significant amount of firepower back home just to actually, it's not actually that bad. It's like, no, I don't actually care if they go for the 50-50 because it's so IPC negative. I have 3 extra Japanese planes. I've calculated my odds on India if UK continues to stick around, and I have yeah, like I've said, I've pushed 100% odds even without those extra 3 Japanese planes. So these Japanese planes can move to Karelia if they're desperately needed, or Berlin. For whatever reason, if allies have odds, I've not calculated it, they shouldn't go for it. I have so many units stacked there anyway, so. But I'm gonna have an 87 to wipe out a France stack, so they should not go for that. Yeah, so yeah, I spent a pretty significant amount of time planning for a round 6 VC attempt, but I don't think that's on the table anymore. So that's quite unfortunate. But I will say I am glad that I'm not sticking with a Caucasus stack. Because I think, I mean, I probably could have backed off now anyway. Maybe my attacks would have been slightly different if I went for the Caucasus stack as well as the Karelia one. But yeah, I guess at the very least, at least I was already giving up on that plan, so it's not that big of a deal there. Yeah, so this will be it for Germany, right? Wow, what a round for Germany. That completely caught me off guard. But I guess it happens. That's the great thing about this game, right? Is it a great thing about this game? I'm not sure. It's full of surprises. Let's just say that. Let's just say it's full of surprises, right? Yeah, I hope that never changes. I just hope that I get some good dice somewhere in this game. Yeah. I do feel like the progress Germany has made, you know, sacrificing all these units early on to Russia has been in vain now. But I do get India. I still get India, so it's not game ending, of course. It is Axis advantage a little bit. Because I hold Karelia, allies lose I hold Karelia, allies lose India. France is dead zoned, so it is Axis advantage. It's just this is quite a significant nerf that Germany is suffering. Yeah, what a kick in the balls that is, truly. All right. Wow. Yeah. But it's not game ending, it's just, it is devastating though. Early game dice are far more impactful. And like I've said many times in my Axis games, if Germany fails their trades in Kill Germany games, it is devastating. It really is devastating. Uh, 14, 17, 2, 6, 5. Yep, good stuff. Karelia, 10, 1, 1 AA gun, 4 tanks. There is technically a 1-2-3 punch, but the US would have to clear, or the UK would have to clear Archangel beforehand. It would be advantage allies, the 1-2-3 punch, because it's a 50-50 right now with just the US and UK. I don't think they take it though. I think it's way too costly for the allies. Yeah, that's a brutal. That's if let's say average dice, I would have taken both. That is 8 IPC out of the German hands into the Allied hands, which is a difference of 16. That is so significant. I can't understate it at all. But yeah, that's the beauty of this game, right? This can just happen out of nowhere. Alright, well, oh man, crippled Germany, round 4 and 93 attack power, truly. But I still hold a pretty significant, well, not really, we'll see. Alright, that's the end of Germany round 4, and I'll be back with Japan round 4. Alright, welcome back to Japan round 4. Destroyer 6 infantry and a fighter for the UK. Fighter 6 infantry to United Kingdom, and then a destroyer for C-35. Took Persia, no units lost. Took France, stacking it, no units lost. Wait, no, they didn't. No, what am I talking about? No. Yeah, they took Persia for free. They failed West Russia, and then they attacked Berlin with a bomber. I think this was a mistake. I think it was supposed to be a strategic bomb, not a attack. But maybe there was some crazy play where bomber goes in to get a kill, and it reduces my odds. On a France strafe, or take even. I think it would have to be a strafe. I don't know, maybe allies are just solidified here now. I would have to actually conquer and do an aggressive buy against France. So yeah, UK stacked France. I will be hitting that. I have a 56%. Assuming I've actually calculated this properly. But maybe it'll be different because the US might choose to bring the AA gun instead. Yeah, that was a devastating round for Germany last round. It couldn't have gone. It literally could not have gone any worse. But yeah, if I was playing as allies and Germany got destroyed by the dice, I would stack France as well. The game's given you the opportunity to try pull it off, so I would take that chance, I think. Okay, well, as you can see, Persia stacked. UK runs away from India. I'm gonna send everything in Burma there, because if I pull any men out, UK might come back, try and retake it, or sack some planes to try weaken it and then go retake it. With the Japanese, I will be buying 6 infantry, a transport, and an industry. Gonna get myself up to 6 transports. At least Manchuria running. I'm not sure about Kwangtung because I've got India already. So it might not be as useful anymore. Maybe if I have enough money. But I could go for a pretty big Japanese air build game. Since I already have 6 bombers and 6 fighters, so I could add to that and fly over to Europe. Yeah, so I'm going to take India, Kazakh, and Evenki. There's no point me taking this. I'll deal with that later, but I'm probably going to prioritize going for Africa first anyway. Alright. Yeah, I think I need a battleship here. Battleship here, destroyer carrier fighter here. And carrier, battleship, cruiser, submarine here at the very least. Yeah. We'll take Kazakh because Germany did clear it for me. So I'm not going to waste that unit. I have the potential to retrade, but Russia has so much freedom now. They can choose to stack West Russia, they can choose to stack Kazakh. They could go stack Vologda and push Japan back this way. Yeah. I want a 2, 3, 4. I give the bomber there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want a bomber in Wake to apply pressure to 56 and help me trade Hawaii. These planes will go to Berlin. Yeah. I want to leave Karelia clear of any of my planes, because I might actually just have to do a full retreat. Depending on the result on France, I might actually have to bring all my tanks down and back off. I feel like those dice were inverted. I think it was supposed to be the other way around, but at least I killed the unit. The infantry hits and the bombers just watch. See. Ship. Boya. These guys will push up. I guess here, yeah, and these planes here, planes. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm kind of tempted to leave these fighters in range of Persia. Do I even need to send that plane there? I don't really need to. That can actually just stay with the fleet. Because it could just go... You could just fly over to Italy next round anyway. These planes, I don't know, I don't really like them attempt. I don't think there's a Persia plug attempt. Because if Russia stacks down here, I could just restack West Russia with Germany instead and just deal with the fact that I have this annoying France stack. I think I'm going to actually leave my planes here like originally planned. I do have 5 bombers on Persia if I need to attack it for whatever reason. I do expect them to retreat. Either to Kazakh, would be annoying, or Africa, which would also be annoying. They could go to Caucasus and then trade down Germany through this way, which is what I normally tend to do. I don't think they're going to do anything malicious against Japan. It is to kill Germany, so I think, yeah, UK will probably stack Caucasus after Russia's retaken it, and then the next round after that, they will start trading this down. Yeah, this is not going to be a fun game for Germany, especially after that last round. I was trying to stop sounding like a broken record, but that was a painful round indeed. I think what I'm going to try and do is gobble up Africa first instead of Oceania, so that US has to respond, which will relieve a little bit of pressure on Berlin. It will. Okay. Industry for Manchuria, so I want the recruit slots. 6 infantry for Japan. I have a small surplus, so I could cheap out and get either my last transport, most likely, or get Kwangtung IC, or spec into planes more. Yep, alright. Yeah, well, that should be a lot higher, but we'll deal with it. Jamie's going to be in a world of pain. Yeah, so Allies have a 42 to hold. I think I will have to conquer France. So, unless the strafe is super good, like really, really good, and I do like a massive artillery purchase for Germany. I suppose on Germany's turn, I will have to prioritize heavy artillery for Berlin. I would probably sacrifice the slots in Italy and get convert the free infantry into artillery to really dead zone it. I mean, it's going to take everything the Allies have, but maybe they're just hoping I get diced. Alright, that is the end of Japan round 4, and I'll be back with Germany round 5. Alright, welcome back to Germany 5. I think this episode is going to be an ASMR one, because I'm having to record this very late. that night. I've not had any time to do this besides now, and I'm not going to be able to hit my turn within the timer because the timer ends, well, when I'm asleep in unsociable hours. So okay, let's have a look at the US. So 12 infantry, 1 fighter. Fighter 2 infantry for Western. 2 infantry to Norway, and the rest into Eastern. Attacked my small fleet in 59 with the sub, killing nothing. Yeah, that was kind of a forced move I put the US into, because normally if the sub moves to 64 and my destroyer is in 61 or in range of 59, it gets trapped. So the US went in hoping to kill my destroyer and failed. I'll take that. So yes, the US also stacked France. It's interesting because calced it, I actually have an 80%. The US actually did not send every single plane in range. So my odds are actually far better than I thought they were. Now, I actually did miscalc as well, my calculation. On G4. It was actually a 50-50 if Allies sent everything they could. I really thought they were going to go for that. Offering an 80%, it's a big risk from Allies, but it could pay off. I will definitely hit it this round. I think after that pretty bad Germany fall round, I think I need to get something out here. Russia got 6 infantry, all into Moscow, of course. Took back West Russia for free. Took the Caucasus, losing an infantry, killing 2. Took Kazakh, no units lost, and then took back Archangel, losing an infantry. Stacked Caucasus and Kazakh. I expect UK to move here. Now this is, well, hopefully, this could be a very, very good round for the Axis here, because the VC play is actually available this round. But it does require Germany to get an above average result in France. Yeah, it really does. If we have a look. So if I get an above average result with 6 tanks left, I will have a roughly a 50-50 to hold France and go for the VC win. The big if. That really is a big if, because if I don't get above average results, it's not worth sacking German fighters to try go for the VC win. I have India. I'm going to get Hawaii, most likely. I have 2 infantry, 1 fighter, 1 bomber. It's super unlikely for me to fail that. The only thing to do is to take and hold France with an above average result. I'm talking roughly a top 32%. But it's definitely possible, because the battle is far more advantageous for me than it should have been. So I'll try go for it, but most likely I'm going to only be able to either strafe it. It's pretty much it. It would have to be a strafe, I think. Yeah, I'd probably have to bring the rest of my tanks down to Dead Zone France again. I'm going to get 9 infantry and 2 artilleries. So the plan will be to try and take West Russia. And then all in on France, besides 1 infantry to take Northwestern. Because I need that infantry to take Northwestern to stop the US fighters going 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it doesn't even matter, does it? No, because the carriers, I've just realised. Yeah, I would need an insane result to even attempt a VC play, because they still have 4 fighters. I have calced though, if I have 6 tanks remaining, and then I send the Japanese planes, I have a 40% to hold against the VC. Will the VC win, which allies will be forced to take? Kind of makes me think, is it even worth taking Northwestern if that's going to be the result? They can still get the fighters in regardless. Might as well just try all in and get a best strafe going, I think. Average result is 4 tanks, 5 fighters left on a conquer. So I really do need an above average still to even attempt the VC. I'm going to put the battleship in 13 as well. But the UK is forced to expend their boats to clear it so the US can bring these guys up. Yeah, I think that's the play. Alright, good luck to the Germans. You will definitely need it this round. Yeah, that's a good start. Oh, wow. Okay. That's amazing. Alright. It's time to shine and show what the fatherland is all about around here. I don't like that at all. I think that's way above average allied hitbacks. Man, my wow. Man, I don't know what's up with this season for ranked in particular, but I'm just getting destroyed by dice. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I think Jeremy's just taken way too much damage. I even lose a fighter. This is way below average dice for Axis here. Yeah, I don't know. I think this might be game, to be honest. I think WOMBAT is a very good platinum player. I just don't think. I think that's just way too much damage I've taken after that. That's humiliating, these dice. Yeah, Oh, my poor Axis. They are not getting a break. Just club teams. My game with Stuart was a very good game. But in the end, they got destroyed by the dice in the last couple rounds. Oh man, that really sucks. I don't know how I'm gonna win this game. That's way too much damage for Germany to take. That's so unforgiving. Oh well, at least at least I can say I tried, I guess. That's so brutal. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's if we have a look at that result, because that was so horrendous. The odds to have 5 fighters remaining is a bottom, well, is actually a top 5% result for allies. And then the Germans to retreat with 4 fighters is, well, to be left with only 4 fighters is a bottom. Let's have a look. That's roughly a bottom 10% result on the Axis end. Dude. Unforgiving dice. Yeah. Well, there isn't really much you can do. The initial aggression from the Germans, sacrificing all these units, has been completely in vain after last round and this round's performance. That is not what should have been left there at all. It should have been roughly 5 German tanks left. Yeah, well, it is what it is. I'll be back for Japan round 5. Alright, welcome back to Japan 5. 7 infantry and a bomber for the UK. All into the UK, of course. Killed my battleship in Season 15, losing a fighter. And stacked France. And Caucasus. And helped support Kazakh. Guess they are, well, I guess allies are really worried that I'm going to hit this for some reason. Sent a bunch of planes to Libya. Where did they come from? Where did they come from? From France. Yeah. So, yeah, UK stacked France. Germany has that's a 40%, and UK has actively sent defense away from France. Which is definitely an interesting move. His allies took a risk on for G5 because I had over 86% on France, but allies could actually have brought that to a 50-50 if they sent everything. But Germany got destroyed by the dice, as you saw. So the allies choosing to then leave defenders out of France again, which is risky. That's just risky. It just goes against how I play. If I'm ahead, I'm not going to try and entice my opponent to take another risk. There's a 40% here. I don't know on Germany so if I'm going to do it. I might just YOLO it again because I need something from this game. This is heavily allied favored now. I have no idea how I'm going to win this game. I don't even think it's possible because Russia is so needlessly strong. It doesn't look like it. But against Japan, with the support of UK, I literally cannot push towards Moscow with Japan. It's going to take way too long. If I don't know, maybe passive Germany might work out, but and just deal with the France stack. Just, you know, I just have to live with it now. But it really does kill Germany. It really does. And UK's in Caucasus now, so they're going to start trading Ukraine and West Russia for Russia. Might even stack Ukraine. There's literally nothing I can do about it because Germany is only 57 attack power. It's pathetic what has happened to my poor Germany. It really is a sad state. Well, I don't have much hope for this game. It's probably going to be a forfeit from me soon. I'm going to take a really big risk this round anyway, so we'll see how that goes. 8 infantry, 2 tanks with a transport. I think that's the buy. I want to put 2 tanks here to apply pressure to Szechuan a little bit with my air power. I'm going to back off, but I wouldn't be surprised if Russia just does some weird tank blitz attack on my units. I would like to take Alaska because the US can't take it back, but I just don't. Maybe I have to greed out with Japan. Take a risk. Allies could push into China. I don't think there's much I can do about it. This will be the buy though. Now the risk is I'm going to move here and then bomb both of these units and then bomb bomb Caucasus and then bomb Moscow. What else am I going to do with my Japan units, honestly? Like, something needs to happen here. Artillery, and then come over with probably 2 infantry. Say that, but it's like, how am I going to stop him trading that so easily? It doesn't matter where I land, US wipes out both, I think. Because I would do infantry 2 fighters. Maybe not, maybe it's a bit risky, but you have a tank for either. Oh, what does that look like? Unless I bring the tank down. Alright, I have altered my setup. I think I will take the canal. And US will retrade it. And I'll try and trade it back next turn. I will move into Ceylon 34. And I do not care if allies want to hit my fleet. They can risk it if they want. I do not care. Because I need some dice. And I actually will take Alaska. Because I'm just going to greed out with Japan here. I'm going to be super risky and greed out. I have nothing else to say except that this has to work. To stay, to keep up with the allies. After that, that failed France take on G3. Leading up to the failed France strafe, I need the dice to just give me a break. And give me something back somewhere at least. So I do hope that everything that I'm doing with these bombers are flawless. That's asking for a hell of a lot. So we will definitely see about that. Yeah, don't tell me the odds. I just need perfection. Okay, well, so far, very, very good. Keep it up, hopefully. The reason I'm air raiding Archangel and Novo is to preserve my unit in Evenki, or at least force Russia to send a tank at my infantry, so I can at least pressure, or at least attempt to pressure Vologda. Wow, I cannot believe I just pulled that off. What a round for my bombers. That is outstanding. Unbelievable. Honestly, that is absolutely insane. But that's exactly what I need. I need the dice to give me a chance. And I take Persia as well, which is outstanding. Unbelievable. That is truly outstanding. I will be holding Karelia still. Wow, that's unbelievable. Okay, this should pin allies for the most part. I might actually trade Finland, Germany, if I give up on France, Prussia. Maybe. Maybe. Do I really want all my bombers here? I'm not really scared of what the allies can do to me here. The concern is if Russia stacks West Russia. Do I have to land them there? That's the question. 2 bombers. 2 bombers. This guy will come down. I'm actually tempted to send this tank across. And actually, I do not want to land there. I want to land in Guangdong. Now, it's either I go here with my tank, or I go here. Like, I don't know, maybe allies just air raid every unit near Africa, because I can't really keep up. I don't know how aggressive allies are going to be here. They don't need to take any risks. So I don't know. I've never played WOMBAT before. I don't know if he's just a constant risk taker or not. This bomber, I think I will leave here. So I just have all my air force on 8. That will keep allies out of 3 for the most part, but they will just be stacking France anyway. There's not really much I can do about it. And it is a 50-50 if US send this transport back. So if they don't, I might hit France and lose all my German planes to the AA guns. Right. Yeah, that's an outstanding round. I don't know. I don't think I care if allies push forward into China. I should get enough Japanese to arrive in time to plug up a hole that they create. I think I will put my tank here. Allies could air raid it, but I might take out a plane. There's also another thing. If allies kill my fleet, take out my carrier, I want my planes to land in Trans and not in Persia if allies somehow fail to take it on Russia's turn. If Russia ignores it, right, they just go for my fleet. If my planes decide to land in Persia, then UK kills my planes. Planes prioritize landing on the most attack power on a tile if neighboring a coast, right? So I'm going to put my tank here so that my planes land. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I prefer deploying the tank later. So in theory, I have free transport load. Enough units for free transports, I should say. I think I'll leave one tank. If I'm doing it that way, I might as well send one to Manchuria. It's not going to hurt too much. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, this sucks. The state of Germany sucks, it really does. It's actually very, very sad. But there is a small hope for the Japanese here. But they could do so much as the Allies. They could do a Persia plug. They could push into China. They could push into Europe. Like, I'm really at the Allied mercy here. I'm just hoping they play the worst move, which would be ending their turn doing nothing. So, right, that's the end of Japan round 5. And I'll be back with Germany round 6. Right, that is the end of this game here. Allies victory. I decided to forfeit after looking at the state of the board. I just did not like the way the next few rounds were going to pan out. Okay, well, if we have a look, US 8 infantry fighter bomber. Yeah, fighter bomber, 3 infantry to Western. 3 infantry to Eastern, 2 infantry to Norway. Took Egypt back, no units lost. Russia got an additional 5 more infantry and repaired 6 onto Moscow. Stacked Persia, stacked West Russia, and took Ukraine, losing an infantry. And yeah, I just did not decide to take my turn as Germany. 29 IPC to spend, so I can't even buy 10 ground for Germany round 6. I think that's all that needs to be said, really, about how bad the last couple rounds for Germany have been. So yes, GG and well played to WOMBAT here. Yeah, it was an interesting game. Interesting and short one. I do feel like, yeah, especially the first couple rounds, WOMBAT deciding to attack the north, wipe out a bunch of Germans in the north. It was an interesting play. Normally I would see the attack on Caucasus, because I do think Allies allowing the very early Axis stack of Caucasus is pretty Axis favored, and it really was. It was Axis favored. After this these turn of events, even though Russia wiped out a fair amount of Germans, I was pretty confident I could still win the game. Yeah, because if I stack Caucasus, Death Clock on Moscow, and India is just so isolated, and I stuck through with the India pressure, got it round 4. Yeah, because there's just no way allies can defend both Moscow and hold India. So in that exchange, I did hold Caucasus for a round, but then I traded it for India. Because I was planning to switch to a VC attempt round 5 or round 6. It would have been the attempt would have been attempted round 5. But Germany got destroyed by hitbacks round 3 and failed 3 trades. Was it round 3 or round 4? It was round 4. So round 4, I looked at my timing. I had a pretty decent shot on a VC attempt. I had like roughly a 40% hold France. Or it was a 50-50. I do forget. But the planning was thrown out the window because I failed the France take. And I stacked it. And then I took close to 90% odds on France and got a bottom. I think Allies got a top 5% result on the France attack, which completely killed the Germans. It was actually very tragic how punishing the dice were for Germany in particular. I did not expect that to happen at all. If France had been taken by Germany, the VC attempt was very likely. I would have stacked France, whole Karelia. Russia would have been like unable to get involved before the timing. I was on the way to take Hawaii. And India was, I think UK had like a 20% to retake India, which is so unlikely anyway. And yeah, it would have been a tight VC attempt, which I do believe I could have came out on top on, for sure. But alas, that's not what happened. Germany just got some of the worst dice I've seen. And Allies some of the best dice within 2 rounds, and that's really all it takes, especially in the early game. Two full rounds of Allied favored dice, and this has brought the defeat of the Axis, where I'm pretty confident that the Axis were in a very strong position with the Caucasus stack, gave it up, and then took India. Africa was completely exposed. I would have gone for Africa initially to split some Americans from the shucking into Europe, and I was pretty confident I could have had Japan greed out, get 6 transports, grab all the money, and slowly flood China towards Moscow. Yeah. So, yeah, very unfortunate. Yeah, Allies have an insane attack power lead. So there's no point in me continuing. I did have like a 40% on France, but even if I hit it and got an outstanding result, there'd be no real way I could conquer or ever get France back again. And Russia stacking West Russia and Persia dislodges my stack in Karelia. I would have to make a pretty big sacrifice to protect the Japanese bombers of German units to stop the UK obliterating them. And Russia stacking Persia doesn't necessarily mean I lose India. It just means that Japan is trapped. They can't push forward. So, yeah. Very well played positioning. Took full advantage of the advantage given to the Allies within the last 2 rounds. Yeah, So yeah, GG and well played. There's not really much to say, except the early game was very interesting. The choice to wipe out these, but I do think that was the weaker option because the VC attempt. It was very promising, but the Allies got away with it. So very unfortunate for me. So with this heartbreaking result, this actually means that Panzers East are once again knocked out of the group stage. This was in fact a pretty good comeback from Flat Tops here. Panzers East proceeded to win the first 3 matches within the first week that were played. But then, yeah, Flat Tops then won every single game afterwards, bringing the score to 10-11 to themselves. So yeah, honestly, very GG and well played to Flat Tops here. Very, very tough competition. So yes, that'll be the end of this game and my season 4 in Club Teams here. As always, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.